Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Key Gripe, the show for short, sweet reviews of new release movies, plus the one thing that annoyed me the most. And today I'm going to be talking about La La Land. I finally got to see it, and there are some minor spoilers. A struggling actress and a jazz pianist find each other in the landscape of Hollywood, and together they challenge each other to face their passions and find the strength to follow their dreams. The film stars Ryan Gosling, Emma Stone, John Legend, Rosemary DeWitt, Tom Everett Scott, and J.K. Simmons, and the film is directed by Damien Chazelle. If there is one thing that is immediately obvious with this film, giving Damien Chazelle money is a good idea. Whiplash is one of the best dramas I have seen in the past 5 years, and La La Land is just as musically inclined as Whiplash, but it has a much higher production value. And Chazelle himself does a remarkable job with the musical aspect of this film. Whereas Whiplash was just about a studio band, this one is actually a musical. And namely, the dance choreography is at times mind-blowing. Some of the shots and the choreography are just incredible. You can absolutely feel the homage to classic musicals. American in Paris is one that I thought of immediately when I was watching the film. But it's also a modern musical, and the opening scene just proves that because it is flat out fantastic. The music really reflects that love for both classic musicals and real jazz. One of the starkest moments is when Mia tells Sebastian that she doesn't like jazz. And then you hear Sebastian, and realistically this is Chazelle speaking through his character, explain why jazz matters. There's a real passion behind it, and it also kind of makes sense. But you really get the impact of that, how much Chazelle loves jazz, when Sebastian starts playing with Keith's band. It's supposed to be jazz, but the way that they show it is almost satirical. It's kind of like Blues Hammer in the film Ghost World, if you've seen that. It's like jazz in name alone, but it really has sold its soul for something popularized. But ultimately, it's the songs that stick with you, and especially The Fools Who Dream. That song, when she sings that in her audition, is just, chills. As rich and full as this film is, everything focuses on the main two characters. Emma Stone is such a likable personality, even when she's annoying, as the character Mia. Neither she nor Gosling is really known as a singer, but she definitely does a decent job with it. But it's in the more dramatic moments when you get the real impact of her acting and you see how she is as a professional, as an actress. And as much as I love Ryan Gosling, he is absolutely excellent at playing Ryan Gosling. He is suave and intriguing even if it didn't feel like much of a stretch for him. Compared to, say, The Nice Guys, which I felt was a little bit more of a stretch, this one felt much more like the Ryan Gosling we've seen in other movies. But I do have to give him some pretty big props because his success here comes with the remarkable piano playing for a novice. He basically had to learn these piano pieces in the span of time preparing for this film. The only other character with any real significant screen time in this film is John Legend, and he's decent, but there's really not a lot of character development there. One of the real strengths in this film, though, is the complex mix of fantasy and reality. Here we have yet another movie about actors and musicians, which is a pretty common trope. Honestly, I get annoyed by it when it's far too self-congratulatory, like a movie like Hail Caesar. But there is a moment when the timbre of the film changes in a pretty significant way. There's a conversation between Sebastian and Mia that is very honest. It's a very honest look at their lives. And from that point, you see this shift away from this dream reality to something much more grounded. You see the struggle, you see compromise, and you see idealism just fall apart. And that is something I don't see enough in movies like this, showing dreamers as real people. More often than not, the dreamers remain the dreamers, and you never see reality hit them. But once you understand what they're trying to show, it really does change the whole movie, and it does highlight that reality versus fantasy. It's a beautifully acted, beautifully done film, so what is my key gripe? Despite the many excellent misdirects throughout the movie, one thing continually bothered me to the very end, and that is the story is razor thin. And the character development is fairly lacking as well. We get a clear picture of who Sebastian and Mia are and what drives them. And they aren't shallow, but you don't get considerably deep either. But there is very little in the way of development or growth. It really is kind of a simple romance. In that way, it really does feel like a 1950s musical, but as a modern movie, that's actually a weak point. And I have to wonder if this is almost a gimmick like The Artist, or will this have a lasting impact? Obviously, I don't know, but it does make me wonder. Overall, La La Land is a unique film, even when it feels like the same movie you've seen 100 times. Despite leaving something to be desired, you cannot deny the incredible direction from Damien Chazelle. In the end, the pros outweigh the cons, and what we have is a remarkable and beautiful film. I'm giving La La Land 9 out of 10, mainly for the technical achievement that it is, as well as the beautiful music and the wonderful acting by both Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone. Let me know what you think of La La Land, if you enjoyed it, what you liked or didn't like about the film. And in a couple of weeks, I'll do a recap of 2016, kind of do the best films, my favorite films of 2016, put that out there. But I want to watch a couple more before I do that. And that does it for this episode of Key Gripe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. Hey, you made it to the end of the video. Nice work. Good job. If you like what you saw, you can just go ahead and click that subscribe button for all videos past and future. You can also head over to my website and see all the other stuff that I do, including the books I've written. So go ahead, click stuff.